If you were to try to imagine what a highly skilled, ruthless assassin might look like, it certainly wouldn't be Robert ONeal. But beyond his friendly face and benign demeanour, he's a man who spent much of his adult life learning to kill. In May 2011, all his training was tested when he'd lined up the Western world's greatest individual enemy, Osama Bin Laden, in his gun sights. ONeal didn't flinch. He pulled the trigger. Hearing his story is chilling. And so are the latest expert warnings that Bin Laden's death, far from killing off al-qaeda, has spurred the terrorists onto greater evil.
All I see is smoke. Okay, dear, I'm so sorry. Hold on one, stay calm with me, stay calm. Hold on 1 second, please. I'm gonna die, aren't I? No, stay here. I'm gonna die.
Ground Zero in New York City. It's a haunting reminder of the worst atrocity to ever occur on US soil and the evil forces behind it.
This is a place where I'll come quite a bit, actually. It always brings me back to 9/11 and thinking how the world changed.
In this sacred place, Robert ONeal is just another face in the crowd. No one would suspect he's the man who took revenge on behalf of his nation. The man who shot Osama Bin Laden.
Standing in front of me, a matter of feet, was Osama Bin Laden. And he was sort of maneuvering towards me, not quickly, but enough to be a threat.
He may not look like it, but Robert is a trained killer. A former US Navy SEAL, he's built his career on making split-second, life-and-death decisions. And when Robert came face to face with the world's most wanted man during a raid in 2011, he had no hesitation in pulling the trigger.
Fire on the hole.
I did a target identification. He's taller than I thought, skinnier. His beard was kind of gray and short. That's definitely his nose. I've seen that face. That's Bin Laden. He's not surrendering. I shot him twice in the head as he was standing up, and once more on the ground. That happened. It was very quick. This one started to sink in. Okay, we just got him. Now maybe we can get out of here.
Dude, it's okay. Do you even realize what you just did?
What was the official brief? Was it to capture or to kill?
I would say it was a kill-capture mission based on the level of threat that Bin Laden was. If he is no doubt surrendering, and they're talking like shirt off, hands up, or laying flat on the ground, palms up, surrendering, capture him. But when I went in there, he had less than a second to convince me he wasn't a suicide bomber. He didn't do that.
Did your superiors want you to take him alive?
They were good with it either way.
Do not leave the hard drive.
It's a decision that altered the course of history and has been immortalized in Hollywood blockbuster Zero Dark 30.
Hey, what's up? I shot the third floor guy.
But Robert warns that while he may have killed Bin Laden, the evil mastermind's terror group remains intact. When you killed Bin Laden, when you effectively cut the head off the snake, did you think that al-qaeda as an organization would go backward after that?
We knew it would be a blow to them. I mean, we're proving that as a coalition, if we find out where you are, we will send people in to get you. So it definitely had an effect.
Robert Cardillo may not have pointed a gun at Bin Laden's head, but his role in the terrorist's demise was just as crucial as Robert ONeal's.
Is that him?
Could be.
Using human intelligence from Pakistan, his team pinpointed Bin Laden's hideaway and spent months interpreting satellite images and other data before painstakingly assembling this now declassified replica. A minute model that ultimately played a massive part in the mission's success. So even the thickness of these walls are accurate?
That's correct. This wall is quite unusual. You see the low wall on the second floor. Bin Laden was quite tall, unusually tall for an Arab, and this measured out to 7 feet tall. And the theory of the case was, if you didn't want to be seen from the neighborhood or anybody driving by, but you wanted to get some fresh air, you would use that location. So again, it didn't prove he was there, but it did give us an indication that if somebody tall was trying to hide from local observation, that wall made sense.
We were doing training all day long, all night long, with a few hours of sleep. And in between the runs, we would, before bed, we would stand around the model, look at it and plan and talk about what else, and then get some sleep and then get up and do it again.
After 6 weeks of intense preparations, Operation Neptune Spear was launched in the early hours of May 2nd, 2011. But chaos struck from almost the beginning, with one of the 2 Black Hawk helicopters crashing as it hovered above the compound. It's then that Robert's training with the model paid off.
None of our plans worked. Everything, the worst imaginable stuff happened, so we weren't even in the spots where we were supposed to be. But because of our knowledge of the area, we knew exactly where we wanted to go and try to get in.
Danger lurked at every step as Robert and a fellow Navy SEAL approached Bin Laden's inner lair, knowing that at any moment they could be attacked by a fanatical suicide bomber.
Osama!
The biggest concern on the mission was explosives.
Right. It didn't escape my mind that Osama Bin Laden might martyr his entire family and friends just because of what his cause is.
Osama!
We were at the base of the stairs. It was just, let's get it over with. Bin Laden's gonna be in there somewhere and he's probably wearing a bomb. So we went up the stairs and turned to the right. And in the bedroom, standing in front of me, a matter of feet, was Osama Bin Laden. He was standing there, he had his hands on his wife's shoulders, and he was sort of maneuvering towards me, not quickly, but enough to be a threat.
Down. All right, get it.
So, you put the first bullet into Bin Laden?
I put the first 3 bullets into Bin Laden. Mm-hmm.
What sort of time frame were we talking about from the moment you decided to pull the trigger?
Maybe a second.
In the moments after his death, Robert and his fellow SEALs scoured the building for intelligence before extracting Bin Laden's body and returning to base. The Pentagon says the raid lasted from start to finish no more than 40 minutes.
Yes, on the ground.
Did you expect it to be that quick?
I wanted it to be quicker. We wanted it to be about 32 minutes on the ground.
Hi, Rob ONeal, how are you? Let's get a pic.
Hey guys, come on in. Alvin, Mesa, come over here.
Sure.
American hero.
Robert has now penned a book about his exploits. But he's been criticised for openly discussing and writing about the mission.
Get a pic, girls?
Other US Navy SEALs say he's broken the traditional code of silence.
How are you, man? I'm Rob. Good to meet you.
Are the SEALs happy that you're talking about it?
I don't know.
I mean, the tradition has always been that you don't talk about it, you stay stung. Are you happy to break that tradition?
I don't think I broke the tradition. I've read probably 50 books written by SEALs. So I don't know what that's all about. And I think other guys should tell their stories. If they're doing good work for people and no one's in danger, then they should be able to write books, I think.
It's also been written that it was the point man who shot him first.
I don't know if the point man didn't shoot when I was there, and when I got there, I can tell you what I saw. When we went up the stairs, the point man jumped onto. They did say he took a shot up the stairs. When I saw Bin Laden, he was not hit, and he was standing on 2 feet. And so I got to assume I shot him the first 2-3 times.
I honestly don't know which one, or if it was one that shot the fatal rounds. I don't know. I think it would have been better to maintain their typical anonymity, but that didn't happen.
James Clapper was the United States Director of National Intelligence at the time of the raid and was in the White House alongside President Barack Obama when Bin Laden drew his final breath.
It was huge. I will never forget the feeling I had after being closeted in the White House Situation Room all that Sunday. There was a crowd, the word had gotten out already, and there was a crowd in Lafayette Square chanting USA, USA, and that's when it really hit me, the sort of emotional impact of, again, I think closure for the country and certainly closure for the intelligence community and closure for me.
We finally got him.
Exactly.
For victory, baby!
The death of bin Laden marks the most significant achievement to date in our nation's effort to defeat al-qaeda.
When Osama bin Laden was killed, people across America celebrated. The man who had orchestrated such evil had finally paid the price. But as New Yorkers continued rebuilding, both literally and emotionally, al-qaeda was also rebuilding. While it's been ISIS that has grabbed the headlines in recent years and dominated counter-terrorism strategy, al-qaeda has worked quietly to boost its supporter base and its fighting strength. That patience and resilience leads many in intelligence to believe it's not a matter of if al-qaeda will strike again, but when.
Their game is much more complicated than, hey, let's just hijack a few planes. And unfortunately, because their game is more complicated, because they have a more robust organization, they could decide at any moment, hey, let's have a go of it. Let's put more guys into the West to try and have an attack. And then it's going to be up to the U.S. and our allies to stop them.
Academic Thomas Joslin has dedicated his life to studying al-qaeda. While the terror group has spent the past 3 years in the shadow of rival organisation Islamic State, he warns it's now more dangerous than ever.
What al-Qaeda has done is they've used the Islamic State as sort of a foil. They'll say, well, the Islamic State is they're the real extremists. They're the real jihadists you have to worry about, where we're the acceptable sort of moderate jihadists. And this is a very dangerous game because what al-Qaeda, the organization that attacked us on 9/11, and that ideology is doing, what they're doing with that is they're trying to basically transform themselves into something that has more mainstream appeal.
So which is worse now? Is it ISIS or is it al-Qaeda?
Well, the way I look at this is that ISIS is the organization that wants to stab you in the neck. Al-Qaeda is the organization that wants to stab you in the back. They don't want you to see them coming.
And the person al-Qaeda hopes can lead them to achieving that goal is Osama's own son, Hamza bin Laden. The now 25-year-old is being touted as a potential new leader of the deadly organization.
They're grooming him for that. And what that means is they're trying to build up the legend of Hamza bin Laden, just as previous jihadis had built up the legend of his father, Osama.
With a new generation of leaders emerging, al-Qaeda poses a threat that James Clapper believes we'll never truly vanquish. What does that say about the war on terror? It's unwinnable.
Well, I wouldn't say it's unwinnable. I just think it's we're in it for the long haul. I think it's unrealistic to think we're going to win and achieve victory and have troops marching down Times Square in New York City because we won the war on terror, because it's just not going to end.
Can you? I already did that. Stay on the line with me, please. Yes, ma'am. I am going to stay with you. Listen, Mrs. Take it. You're here? On the inside with you.
As for Robert ONeal, he prays there are always men willing and prepared to defend our freedoms, no matter the cost.
So I did what any other special operator would have done.
So how do you deal with that, as the guy who was there on the ground?
With killing somebody, it's part of the job. These are people that want to kill us, and I think that a lot of what we believe in needs to be defended. I mean, we're the good guys.
Hello, I'm Dimity Clancey. Thanks for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our extra minute segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes on 9now.com.au and the 9Now app.